Welcome everybody to Intensity Broadcasting. My name's Josh Hall. This is the original Rebels Racing League Rebels Grand National Series with the Racetrack Revival 150 here at North Wilksboro Speedway on iRacing. We want to welcome everybody here tonight. We're getting ready to do 150 laps at this historic North Wilkesboro Speedway. Looking forward to a fantastic short track race here tonight. We will take a look at our points coming into tonight. See Eddie Smith currently at the top of the board with 5 wins. Charles Stevens sits back in second. Mike Kosick back in third. Jonah Cobert and Daniel Cunningham round out your top 5. Jonathan Cofield back in sixth. He's got a win on the season, so isn't Jonah Cobert. Matt Kleeman getting the win last week. Runs back at 7th. Jason Lottridge, Brandon Pollock, and Stephen McDonald. Your top 10, Brendan Wallace, Tyler Rice, Andy Kurtz, Garrett Kidner, and Aaron Adcock round out the rest of the top 15 as we get ready to do battle here at this historic North Wilkesboro Speedway. Let's take a look at cars out on track. We see Tyler Rice currently on the track getting some laps in, and for those who have seen the Speedway recently, I know it looks kind of old school, and that's because it is. iRacing did a really good job, tried to make this track look like it did back in the 80s, and they did a fantastic job with little nuances like the Holly Farm sign there in the scoreboard, some of the signage around the track, as well as the old campers around the track as well. So awesome looking track here, awesome little racetrack, and it's a tricky track to get around as well. We'll ride along here with Tyler Rice, and something you don't really notice is when you come down the front stretch, you're actually going downhill into turn number 1. Then as you come off of turn number 2, you're actually going back up the hill down the back stretch. So it adds that little nuance and challenge because it changes your braking zones on each end of the racetrack. See Tyler Rice currently 6th on the board. We see Jonah Cobert currently 5th on the scoreboard here in practice. So he's going to pull down to the inside here and get ready to qualify in just about a minute. Eddie Smith just coming off of turn number 4, sitting back in 9th. So we'll be watching tonight for these guys to save tires. That's going to be the name of the game tonight, is saving tires on this old abrasive racetrack. These guys are want to be able to be there at the end with some fresh tires if they are available to them. So that would be the strategy in my mind, what you want to do here tonight, and stay out of the trouble. This track really narrows out off the corner. It's got that short track feel. It is a short track, so we'll see drivers beating and banging all night tonight as well. So watch for that all night long. Again, we want to thank everybody for joining us here tonight, whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, or Twitch. Yes, that's right. We got the Twitch back up and running as well. So I want to thank everybody who's joining us here tonight. Garrett Kidner running a little different paint job tonight. Drivers running a little bit of a throwback schemes, if you will. Looks like Kinder's got that old Skull Bandit look on his car here tonight. Something I love when they do these little throwback schemes. Of course, we want to thank everybody for joining us here tonight. Again, whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, or Twitch, don't forget to hit that like button, follow, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. That way you know anytime that we go live here on Intensity Broadcasting. We got our first cars out on track right now. Starting with the 5 of Andy Kurtz. Takes the green flag of his first of 2 laps here, and through turns 1 and 2, you'll see him run just a little bit higher up on that first set of hash marks. Down through 2, 3, and 4, you'll see them right down on the bottom, right there through 1 and 2, right on that hash mark. If you get down too low close to that grass, it really flattens out, and it can upset the car a little bit unless you got that car hooked up just right. off of turn 4. Andy Kurtz is going to stay P3 currently on the board. Mike Kosick just jumped up to the top of the leaderboard. Tyler Rice just coming off of turn number 2 on his first of 2 laps. Coming to take the white flag here off of turn number 4. Currently jumps up into the 4th position. Jonathan Cofield just jumped up to the top of the board with an 1871. And Rice comes across the line, and he's going to stay P4 currently. Sam Wetstein out on track. Taking the white flag on his qualifying attempt here. Currently up into the 7th position. Sounds like Sam might have caught the wall a little bit right there. To disallow his time off of turn at number 4. Nope, he's going to go 19:12 on his second lap. There's Garrett Kidner just coming out onto the racetrack, just took the green flag. Across the straight, Kidner's going to jump up into the 2nd position. See what he's able to do here on his second lap. See if he can knock Jason Warren off the pole. Down to the stripe. Oh, gets really loose off of turn number 4. That's not going to help his cause. Does run just slightly slower on his second lap. So currently sits in the 2nd position. 1 car left to qualify. That'd be the 54 of Daniel Cunningham. Don't see him on track yet. We have about a minute and a half left here in qualifying. While we got a moment here, we want to thank one of our great sponsors here on Intensity Broadcasting, and that is Butt Kicker. And Butt Kicker is an established and trusted leader in haptics. The award-winning line of Butt Kicker brand haptic transducers lets you feel low-frequency sounds. Butt Kicker's products' patented design makes them incredibly accurate, powerful, and virtually indestructible. The Gamer Plus is the new and upgraded sim racing gaming haptics hardware that reproduces immersive, accurate, and powerful sim racing, flight sim, and gaming effects. To check out the full line of Butt Kicker products and figure out which one is right for you, visit thebuttkicker.com. I know I've got my Butt Kicker Gaming Plus hooked up to my chair. I used it for the first time Wednesday night, and it was incredible. It was something different. Not just do you get the realism, that feeling of the engine rumbling in the seat of your pants, but you can feel other things going on in the car that you just can't normally feel. You can feel the tires starting to break loose. You can feel if you have your brakes locked up. Feel gear shifts. At road courses, you can feel the rumple strip. So it adds that little extra immersion. So if that's what you're into and you're looking for a little edge to try to get a little extra feel out on the racetrack, check out thebuttkicker.com. Also, don't forget to check out our web store at intensitybroadcasting.com for hats, t-shirts, coffee mugs of not just Intensity, but all your racing needs, some of your favorite leagues as well, and Atlee Atmanwise's merchandise as well. He's currently down in Atlanta Motor Speedway racing this weekend, so I want to show this young man some support, so check that out at intensitybroadcasting.com. Kevin Kidner, long time no here. It's good to see you here tonight as well, as we get ready to take a look at our starting grid. And starting on pole tonight is the 32 of Jason Warren. He will get the Chuck Pegleg Pole Award tonight. Garrett Kidner will start from the outside of row 1, back in the 2nd position. Jonathan Cofield rolls off from P3 with Jonah Colbert in the 4th position. Mike Kosick rounds out your top 5. Outside of row number 3, we'll find the 6 of Tyler Rice. Then Brandon Pollock and Andy Kurtz back in row number 4. Sam Wetstein and Charles Stevens Jr. will round out your top 10. 11th, we'll find the 99 of Brandon Wallace with the 87 of Eddie Smith. to his outside in position number 12. 13th will be the 17 of Josh Oswald with Dave Jones to his outside. Steve McDonald to his outside in 14th. Jason Lottridge and Dave Jones round out row number 8, and back in your final row, row 9, will be William Griffith and Daniel Cunningham. So we're going to get ready for 2 laps here under caution at this short track. We see Jason Warren rocking that Days of Thunder Superflow machine with Garrett Kidner.
No restart zone here. We do have 2 stones tonight.
I apologize. I didn't realize I still had the driver chat on, which is not something that you guys are going to want to hear tonight, especially at the short track. So we'll get that shut off for you. But you just heard it there. We do not have a restart zone at this old track, so we'll be watching these drivers pretty much choosing to go when they want when the pace truck pulls onto pit road. But they will have the choose code in effect, so the drivers can choose to start on the inside or outside lane if they want to try to gain some positions or use a little bit of strategy. But here we go, getting ready to go racing. Pace truck's getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn onto pit road. Jason Warren leads them down to the starting line. Green flag is in the air, and we are racing here at North Wilksboro, and immediately Jason Warren using that low line to try to sneak up in front of Garrett Kidner. But Kidner working hard on that high side. He's got the momentum up there on the high side, but he's going to have to tuck it back in as Jason Warren's going to lead the first lap. But Kidner still trying to fight back on the high side. We got one around on the front stretch. We see Brandon Pollock around on the front stretch. That is going to bring up our first Kidner Farm and Ranch Wreckage Rewind tonight. So we take a look to see what happened to the 4 machine. Down into the corner on the low side. Just a little too hard on the throttle off the corner. Catches that inside wall. Doesn't look like he hit it too hard, so it looks like he'll be able to get that fixed up and continue on. Looks like he's even going to stay out here. Doesn't look like he's going to come down pit road at all. So we will continue on here at North Wilkesboro. So an early caution comes out here tonight at North Wilkesboro. We'll see if a second caution comes out pretty quickly. As we know, sometimes cautions can breed cautions. Especially at these short tracks like North Wilkesboro. Lights on, the pace truck on off. We're getting ready to go back green flag racing. Green flag is in the air. Another great jump for the 32 of Jason Warren on the start here. Immediately gets out and clears Garrett Kidner. So He makes his way down into turns 3 and 4, just behind Andy Kurtz and Jonathan Cofield. Going at it off of turn number 4. Cofield with that low line should have the advantage. But Kurtz firing off hard on the high side, trying to stay out in front. Now Kurtz is able to clear the 58 machine, and he's going to set his sights on the 31 of Jonah Colbert. Just behind, we got some more side-by-side racing as Eddie Smith has just gotten around Jonathan Cofield himself. And Charles Stevens trying to work onto the back bumper. And now Josh Oswald in the 17 looking to the high side of Eddie Smith, but he's going to have to tuck back in line. Sam Wetstein looking down to the inside of the 12 of William Griffith. A little contact between those two drivers. Griff's going to be able to use that high momentum to get back around and out in front of Sam Wetstein. Up front, Jason Warren has a hard-charging Garrett Kidner, who's right there on the back bumper. So you see that Kidner Farm and Ranch Mustang stocking the back bumper of the 32 of Jason Warren. You know, Kidner likes these slick, short tracks. We'll see if Kidner able to make up any ground on the 32. Looks like Jason Warren's now starting to pull away just a little bit. As the rest of the field starting to get a little more strung out and single file. Mike Kosick taking a look down to the inside of Andy Kurtz. Eddie Smith right behind as well, trying to pounce if the opportunity arises. In front of that, we've got, it's like Tyler Rice had Jonah Colbert taking a look down to the inside, but nothing came of that. Now Kurtz way up the track. That's going to allow Kosick to get right on by, and here comes Eddie Smith trying to take advantage of that slip up as well. Smith got a little loose off the corner, but he was able to keep it down. See if he pulls a little slide job here up in front of Andy Kurtz, and he does. So move Eddie Smith up into the 6th position, already up 6 positions from where he started. Josh Oswald way down on the bottom of the track, trying to get around the 88 of Charles Stevens. And William Griffith right here in the mix as well. Griff's going to look up to the high side of that 17 machine. Now he's going to try to use a little crossover. Thought about making it 3 wide off the corner. Decides better of it. Tucks in behind the 17 of Oswald as we complete lap number 17. And while all that action was going on, Garrett Kidner was able to get around the 32 of Jason Warren. Let's take a look back to see how that happened. Kidner with a great launch off of turn number 2. He dives it down into turn number 3. Able to get right around and clear the 32 of Warren. So that puts Garrett Kidner up into P1. As this battle back here continues, now Griff on the low side trying to get around Stevens. He's got Sam Wetstein battling to the high side, and just behind him, we see the 99 of Brandon Wallace in that Rainbow Dale Earnhardt scheme. Another great throwback scheme. And Wallace just got really loose off the corner. He's going to have to try to regroup. As Garrett Kidner continues the lead here at North Wilkesboro Speedway. Don't forget to join us Sunday night for our truck doubleheader. This Sunday, we will also be taking on North Wilkesboro in the truck race. So a lot of racing here at North Wilkesboro this weekend, starting with the Grand National Series kicking it off. Of course, the trucks drive completely different than these cars will, so we'll see a totally different race there or here this weekend. Already we're starting to see the field really starting to spread out. As you can see, the last place car at the moment is about a half a lap down. So as the race goes on, we'll see if lap traffic comes into play here tonight. Ratchet Miller in the chat as well. Good to see you, Ratchet. I know he's enjoying seeing Garrett Kidner out in front as we got a big race going on behind. We got Tyler Rice with Jonah Colbert down to the inside. Mike Kosick with Eddie Smith to the high side. 4 cars under a blanket battling for 3rd through 6th as we got caution out on the speedway. Looks like it's for the 12 of William Griffith. Charles Stevens Jr. looks like he might have been involved here as well. And that'll bring up our second Kinder Farm and Ranch Wreckage Rewind. We're going to blame that one on Ratchet because the caution came out just as Ratchet joined the stream. Let's see if we can see what happened. Griff looks like he was trying to make a move on the 88 and just tag the corner panel of that 88 machine. Stevens doesn't look like he has too much damage on his machine, but we can see William Griffith with a lot of damage to the front end of that 12 Toyota Camry. So he's going to come down pit road. Again, remember, no resets in this league, so any damage that these drivers have, they're going to have to see if they can get it fixed up. See a couple drivers taking some tires. Daniel Cunningham on pit road getting some tires. Brandon Wallace also on pit road, and we'll see how much damage Griff has. So Brandon Wallace now off of pit road. Looks like he might have only taken 2 tires. 9.42 second stop for Brandon Wallace. 14.5 for Daniel Cunningham. And see Brandon Pollock making his way on pit road, and here comes Brandon Wallace back on pit road. Maybe he's taking the left sides this time. Only had time to take 2 tires. Yep, we see the left side's going up. So instead of going a lap down to the field, he decided to just take 2 tires, jump out, and come back on. Ratch says, heck yeah, G. Kinder making a hand, and thanks for calling him out as usual, Eddie. Oh, I mean Josh. Yeah, I mean, you know, your reputation precedes you, you know. We just kind of know whenever you jump in the chat, the yellow's bound to come out, so. You know, it happens one time, that might be a fluke. It happens twice, that might be a pattern or a coincidence, but it happens 3 or more times, that becomes a pattern. Here we go. Garrett Kinder chooses the inside lane. Jason Warren up on the high side. These drivers are on hot tires, so watch for wheel spin here on this restart as the green flag is in the air. Everybody gets going pretty good here down into turn number 1. Garrett Kidner with a huge start, and will get out in front of Jason Warren. Behind him, though, Jonah Colbert has just gotten around Tyler Rice, but Tyler Rice fighting back hard on the inside. He gets a little tight in the corner, has to check up. That checks up Eddie Smith and allows Mike Kosick to get a run up on the high side as they make their way down into turns 1 and 2. Kosick trying to get the momentum up on the high side to get around the 6 of Rice. And he will take over that 4th position. Now behind, we see Tyler Rice checking up into the corner yet again. That's going to check up Eddie Smith. This time, Smith, though, going to dive down to the bottom. Try to take a move down into turn number 1. Rice has the 5 of Andy Kurtz right there all over the back bumper as Eddie Smith trying to make his way around that 6 machine to move Smith up into the top 5, and he will clear the 6 of Tyler Rice. Oh, big slide out of the 58 of Jonathan Cofield coming off of turn number 4. Cofield now trying to get back underneath the 6 of Tyler Rice. That time he almost pushes up the track into the 6s. We're seeing these older tires now really starting to show their age. Brandon Wallace already up 4 positions from where he started. He's making his way. Oh, what a round. That's Cofield down to the inside. No caution. Cofield was off the racetrack, so no caution. We continue on, but Brandon Wallace making his way through the field on those fresh tires, and you're seeing just how much deeper he can drive down into the corner and how much better he can get up off the corner. A tough break for Cofield. See if we can see what happened through the 58 machine as, yeah, he just lost it off the corner. Spun down to the inside off the racetrack in the grass, and he never stopped, so he continued on. So no caution comes out. We stay green. There's the 54 of Daniel Cunningham, also on fresh tires, making his way through the field. And 2 good wrench cars, the rainbow good wrench car of Brandon Wallace and the more traditional good wrench car, nose to tail, trying to make their way back through the field on these fresh tires. Andy Kurtz under attack from the 17 of Josh Oswald. Sam Wettstein right behind as well, looking for an opportunity to slide through. But Kurtz a little too strong, able to stay out in front of Josh Oswald, using that higher line, and he's using it well. He's able to stay out in front of the 17. Normally, there is no high line here at North Wilkesboro, but Kurtz found something up there, and he's making it work for him right now. A little further back, Daniel Cunningham taking a look down to the inside of Jason Lottridge. Brandon Wallace to the inside of Sam Wettstein. So, again, we're seeing these new tires easily making their way through the field. As Oswald taking a look down to the inside of Kurtz yet again. Wallace going to dive down into the corner. He's going to side by side Josh Oswald and Brandon Wallace. Daniel Cunningham wants to get through as well. Well, Alien Eddie out there turning and burning, I see. Eddie is currently up 7 positions from where he started, up into the top 5, trying to run down Mike Kosick. As this battle is continuing a little further back, these fresh tires are really showing their strength. Wallace clears Oswald. He sets his sight on Andy Kurtz. And to put in this perspective, Brandon Wallace on these fresh tires, they're running the exact same times as Garrett Kidner up front in clean air. And we know that with these Grand National cars, clean air, even on a short track like North Wilkesboro, means a lot here. So Kidner continuing to stay out in front as we're hitting the 1/3 mark. Jason Warren, though, slowly inching back to the back bumper of that 13 machine. Last time by, Jason Warren was about a 10th quicker than Garrett Kidner. This time by, they're running pretty much identical laps. As we take a look at how identical those laps really almost are. That time Jason Warren was a little bit slower. Well, that's a new feature. Oh, caution flag is out, but there's a new feature. We can throw three-way lap times up there on the board, but looks like Brandon Pollock is around on the backstretch. Second time he's been involved in a yellow flag tonight, so that's going to bring up another Kinder Farm and Ranch Wreckage rewind. Ooh, looks like there's a little bit of contact, some hard racing out there. Let's take a look at what happened. Pollock dives down into the corner. He's going to catch the 10 of Dave Jones. Two of them are going to go sliding off of turn number 2, and Pollock slides back up the track. But pit stops just happening. Everybody but Brandon Wallace coming down pit road. So Brandon Wallace is going to be your leader. We see just behind Jonathan Cofield coming to take the lucky dog. Cofield being scored 8 laps down. But there's a lot of time to gain those laps back up. In a long race like this, especially short tracks, it's really easy to get a couple quick yellow flags, and you can gain a couple of those laps back pretty quickly. Cofield must have caught the wall trying to avoid that incident, because he did not get the lucky dog. So he's going to find himself restarting in the back of the field. As we cross the line this time, the lights on the pace truck will go out, and we'll have just one more lap before we go back green flag racing. So Brandon Wallace going to choose the inside. Puts Garrett Kidner out on the high side. Row 2 will find Jason Warren and Jonah Colbert. Then Eddie Smith and Mike Kosick back in row number 3. Pace truck makes that hard left-hand turn onto pit road. Green flag back in the air. Great jump for Brandon Wallace as he's going to dive down into turn number 1. Garrett Kidner, though, going to fire off on that high side. Look up to the high side of the 99, and as they go into turn number 3, those fresh tires, as we saw on Brandon Wallace earlier, just too much for that 99 machine, and Kinder's going to retake the lead as they come down across the straight. And Brandon Wallace trying to... Tires aren't that much older, but you can see about what 20 laps on the tires can do here at North Wilkesboro. Wallace going to slide up in front of Eddie Smith. Almost loses it off the corner. Smith has to check up. Now Eddie's going to look up to the high side, try to get around the 99. He's going to make easy work of that 99 machine. Same with Jason Warren getting the run here off of turn number 4. Up front, though, Garrett Kidner now leads over the 31 of Jonah Colbert. Mike Kosick back there in 3rd, and Eddie Smith up into the 4th position. Brandon Wallace now caught on the outside. Sam Wetstein having a great run up into the 7th position. Up 7 positions from where he started. Sorry, up 1 position from where he started. It's Daniel Cunningham, who's got a big move. As we got 3 wide off the corner, Sam makes the move on Brandon Wallace. Andy Kurtz on the high side, and 3 wide at North Wilkesboro. Can get tight and exciting, but they're able to make it work. As we're watching Brandon Wallace just struggling on these older tires, and he continues to fall backwards through the field. Back up front, Jonah Colbert has Mike Kosick all over the back bumper as they make their way through turns 1 and 2. Your top 4 cars starting to pull away as Jason Warren has just over a second gap to 4th place Eddie Smith. A little further back, we've got more 3 wide racing, it looked like, as Brandon Wallace continues his slide backwards through the field, and Charles Stevens Jr. looking down to the inside. We see Steve McDonald right behind as well, trying to move forward. And the forward Brandon Pollock back there, trying to get himself back into the race after a couple early spins. Oh, checking up off of turn number 4, really checked up the field. Brandon Wallace up on that high lane on those older tires. They're really starting to cause some issues for some of the other drivers out there. A little further up, we see Daniel Cunningham looking down to the inside of Sam Wetstein. Josh Oswald in this mix as well, as Sam's going to pull ahead up into 7th. And Josh Oswald and Daniel Cunningham continue to battle side by side. Just behind Jason Lottridge, trying to make his way up into this mix as well. As the battle up front starting to heat up just a little bit more as well. Kosick starting to reel in Jonah Colbert as Garrett Kidner starting to pull away. Just heard someone smack the wall incredibly hard. Not sure who that was, but no caution is out, so we continue racing. And Garrett Kidner starting to fall back just a little bit. Was it Kidner that got up into the wall? See if we can jump on an onboard camera here with Kidner, and does kind of look like that right front might have a little bit of damage on it. It's hard to tell from the onboard views here, but doesn't look like any damage to the side of this 13 machine as he's starting to regain his speed and pull back away from 2nd place, Jonah Colbert. These 4 continue to battle on track. This is a battle for 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. Sam Wetstein clears the 17 of Josh Oswald. And now Oswald has Daniel Cunningham and a hard-charging Jason Lottridge down on the low side. Thought Lottridge had position for a second. He's going to tuck back in behind as we get 3 wide racing off of turn number 2. So a great battle back here as now Lottridge gets the position on Josh Oswald. Tries to dive it in a little bit deeper to try to get to the inside of Oswald. Oswald just got really loose off the corner, but didn't really hurt his momentum, as he's now able to get alongside the 98 of Sam Wetstein. Sam with the power move up on that high side to stay side by side. And Jason Lottridge continues to try to make it 3 wide through the corner as he's got the 54 of Daniel Cunningham to his outside. Fantastic racing here at North Wilksboro. And while that's been happening, we see Charles Stevens Jr. making his way up into this mix as well, as these drivers running side by side, racing this hard, is allowing the drivers behind to catch up just a little bit. Oswald still cannot clear the 98 of Sam Westside. Oh, there's some contact between Sam and Oswald there, and Oswald has to get out of the gas. That's going to allow Jason Lottridge to move on by. And now Lottridge is going to try to make a move on Sam Westside, but just not close enough to make that move happen. Now Lottridge back down to the inside, but Sam's really got that car hooked up on the high side. He's able to stay out in front of anybody who tries to mount a battle on the low side, and see Lottridge catching the grass just a little bit, really upset his car. That allowed Sam to pull away and clear the 48 of Lottridge. And Charles Stevens Jr. has now gotten around Josh Oswald. So battles all through this little group here, as we got a battle up at the front. Mike Kosick making his way around Jonah Colbert. And Eddie Smith also trying to get around that 31 machine as well. And just behind, we see Jason Warren here in this mix as well, as Garrett Kidner's lead is now just over 1.3 seconds. So Colbert, who was just running in second, now finds himself back in fifth. And Sam Wetstein now relinquishing that seventh position, as he's just not able to keep it working up on that high side. Jason Lottridge has gotten around Charles Stevens Jr. now, trying to make his way around the 98 machine. A little further back, there's a battle back here as well between Josh Oswald and Steve McDonald. And Steve McDonald's going to use that high lane himself to pull around that 17. Tyler Rice, almost gets into the back of McDonald. They're able to clear Josh Oswald. This is the first time I've ever really seen a car work that high lane here at North Wilkesboro so well. But Sam, gets up into the wall that time, but Sam doing a great job working up on that high lane and making it work for him. As Daniel Cunningham makes a round, and here comes Brandon Pollock trying to get down to the inside as well. Well, Garrett Kidner's lead has shrunk. It was 1.3 seconds. Now it's fallen back to just under half a second, as Mike Kosick really starting to put some laps down. And caution is out. We see William Griffith slow on track right in front of the leaders. I believe Jonathan Cofield was involved in this one as well. And that's going to bring up another Kidner Farm and Ranch Wreckage Rewind, as we take a look to see exactly what happened here out on track with the 12. Let's try that again. With the 12 of William Griffith down on the low side of Brandon Wallace. Gets really loose there right in front of Cofield, and man, tough break for those two. Right in front of the leaders. And there was no caution. I apologize. There was no caution. So Garrett Kidner's lead, he's able to pull back away from Eddie Smith with that little incident in front of him. And Eddie Smith has now moved up into the second position. So while while that was happening, we'll take a look here and see what Eddie Smith did. Yeah, you see those slow cars there. He's able to get around Kosick. Same with Jason Warren. And, yeah, the caution never came out. So these guys are still out there running. And I just saw what popped up on the YouTube, and I apologize for that. My Nightbot's doing its job, though. Garrett Kidner starting to creep up on the lap traffic. Oh, this time yellow is out. As we just saw Josh Oswald having some trouble down on track, and this time we will get ourselves a Kidner Farm and Ranch Wreckage Rewind. Oh, Brandon Wallace into the back of Josh Oswald. Jonathan Cofield spins down to avoid the wreck as well. And pretty simple short track racing there. So I'm sure we'll see the entire field making their way back down onto pit road. No Neck says the 19 will be back next week. Had a wedding in Pennsylvania to go to. Glad to see you watching though here, as the field makes their way down onto pit road. Bo Kidner gets back out. Again, we want to thank everybody for joining us here tonight on Intensity Broadcasting. Lights are off on the pace truck. We're going to go back green flag racing here in just a moment. Sorry, I was taking care of some stuff on the channel. Trying to take care of some things that shouldn't be up on the screen. Here we go. Pace truck is off. Green flag back in the air. Garrett Kidner with a big jump over Eddie Smith. Jason Warren right here in the mix as well. Trying to get around Mike Kosick to take over that third position as they're side by side for position number 3, just behind Jonah Colbert and Andy Kurtz. Battling as well. Kurtz is going to slide up in front of Jonah as Jason Warren and Mike Kosick continue to run side by side. Oh! Warren slides up the track, out loose in the corner, comes up into Kosick. They both make contact. Kosick hits the wall. Warren gets the big loss out of that. He falls all the way back to 8th. Eddie Smith now and Garrett Kidner are pulling away as Andy Kurtz is able to slide up around Mike Kosick and into the third position as Kosick now trying to work hard on that high side to retake the last podium position. Side by side, they come off of turn number 4. We have less than 50 laps to go. Kosick able to drive around Andy Kurtz up on that high side. Up front, Eddie Smith and Garrett Kidner battling up here for the top spot. Eddie, though, just not able to get quite to the back bumper of Garrett Kidner. And more battling as we see the 12 of William Griffith without a front clip, able to get around the 68 of Steve McDonald. So Griff's car looks like one of them New England modifieds. But he's able to stay out there with pace as Brandon Pollock now taking a look down to the inside of Daniel Cunningham. And just in front of him, we see Jason Warren, who is just out in the top 3, finds himself back in the 8th position. Pollock trying to get to the back bumper of Daniel Cunningham, but just not able to make that happen just yet. Up front, Eddie Smith now right on the back bumper of Garrett Kidner. Jonah Colbert looking down to the inside of Andy Kurtz, not able to make that move stick. Kurtz, though, runs up the track just a little bit. Jonah is going to look back down to the inside. Now he's going to have the position as they come off of turn number 4. But again, we're seeing on fresh tires, these outside lane working really well for some of these drivers. Allowed for some great side-by-side racing through the field here tonight. Now Garrett Kidner starting to pull away from Eddie Smith. The interval is right around 3/4 of a second. Now it's back down to 0.3 of a second, so it looks like Eddie might have just had one really bad lap. See where Kinder's been just a little bit quicker. That time, Eddie just a little bit quicker. So these two pretty much pretty even out on track right now. Battle back here. Tyler Rice and Brandon Pollock going at it. This is a battle for the 10th position. and Tyler Rice is going to take over that 10th position. Charles Stevens Jr. up into the 6th position. Currently up 4 spots from where he started. Having a great run, trying to run down the 5 of Andy Kurtz. In the back of the pack, we see a great battle happening right now between Sam Wetstein, Brandon Wallace. Josh Oswald, who is currently 1 lap down. Trying to fight for that lucky dog, hoping for a yellow to come out. He's able to get back onto the lead lap. Tyler Rice trying to run down the 54 Daniel Cunningham. So little battles all over the track. And oh, Charles Stevens Jr. gets punted from behind. Jason Lottridge turns the 88 around. Does not bring out a yellow. Great save. So we can take a look to see exactly what happened there. Yeah, you see Lottridge just give the 88 a little bit of a shove into the corner. Jason Warren took advantage of it, got out in front. Now you see Lottridge and Daniel Cunningham battling back here. This is a battle for 7th position. Tyler Rice in the heat of the battle here as well. So a 3-car battle. So Cunningham now taking a look to the inside of Jason Lottridge. It looks like he overdrove that corner just a little bit. Now allows Cunningham to get right back down to the inside. We have 25 laps to go here at North Wilkesboro. Garrett Kidner out in front of Eddie Smith by about a half a second. And that's another half second back to 3rd place, Mike Kosick. Then you got to go 2 seconds back to find 4th place, Jonah Colbert. Then another 2 seconds back to 5th place, Jason Warren. Although Warren's got a handful right now with a car that does not look like it's handling all too well. He's got a hard-charging Andy Kurtz right behind as well. Right along with Jason Warren here, and just trying to keep that car on the bottom of the track. You see the damage to the right front of that 32 machine. Now he's starting to pull away from Andy Kurtz and trying to run down Jonah Colbert, and he's cut into Jonah's lead just a little bit. So what wasn't a great handling car, it looked like, now it's starting to show some speed, and he's running down 4th place Jonah Colbert. This battle continues to be about the same, though, as Garrett Kidner leads Eddie Smith by a half a second. But you can see it off the roof of Garrett Kidner right here. They're starting to catch some lap traffic here as they're coming up onto the tail of the field. There's the 10 of Davy Jones, who's struggling out there just a little bit. Jones going to stay up to the high side, let the leaders right on by. Eddie Smith looks like he lost just a little bit of time trying to get around the lap car. That's allowed Kosick to close the gap just a little bit to 0.3 of a second. Question is, with 16 laps to go, can we stay green? Garrett Kidner sees exactly what he wants to see in the back, in the mirror. These two battling. More lap traffic waits ahead for Garrett Kidner. As we take a look at the track map, we can see just out in front of him is the 98 of Sam Wettstein and Brandon Wallace. So before the end of this, lap traffic may come into play here, as Garrett Kidner's lead over Eddie Smith has grown to about a second. Charles Stevens Jr. looking down to the inside. Daniel Cunningham, he's going to take over that position. So move Stevens up into the 8th position. Just in front, we see Andy Kurtz and Jason Lottridge. Lottridge putting a good run together, trying to run down Andy Kurtz to take over the 6th position. Lottridge ever so slightly creeping up. Up front, Garrett Kidner has lap traffic in his sights. Wish I was able to do a little split screen here, have the two battles out on track, as Lottridge now looking down to the inside of Andy Kurtz. And he's going to look to take that position here as they go down into turns 1 and 2, side by side. Kurtz, though, able to hold him off up on the high side. Just behind, we see a battle between Brandon Pollock and Tyler Rice. Pollock able to move up into the top 10 now. Back up front, Garrett Kidner makes his way around the 98 of Sam Wettstein. Sam's going to give Kidner a lot of room up off the corner. Sam being very respectful of the leaders trying to race here tonight. He's going to stay up on the high side, let Eddie Smith right by as well. Charles Stevens into the mix here now as he's taking a look on Jason Lottridge. So Lottridge was just trying to get around Andy Kurtz, and now the 88 is right here trying to get around both of them to move himself up into the top 6 with just 6 laps to go. Oh, almost some contact there between the 88 and the 48. With just 5 laps to go, Garrett Kidner's lead remains just over a second over second place Eddie Smith. As Stevens comes off the corner, oh, almost some contact between those two drivers. Smith drives it in deep, trying to take the position away from that 48 machine. Just not able to get the drive off the corner to get around Lottridge. That time Stevens gave the bumper down the front stretch to Jason Lottridge, but still not able to make the move work. Down into the corner, just 2 laps to go. This time Lottridge is going to move up the track and allow Stevens on by. Oh, there's some contact around on the front stretch. Caution! Caution is in the air. Charles Stevens Jr. around on the front stretch. This is going to change everything as Kidner was getting ready to take the white flag, and we get a Wreckage rewind. And we saw Stevens giving a push to Lottridge down the straightaway. Lottridge moves up the track, and Stevens tries to pull a little slide job, just wasn't enough room. And the two of them make contact on the front stretch and brings out the caution. Now, we're going to have ourselves a green-white checker. Couple drivers did come down pit road. Gianna Cobert, Andy Kurtz, Brandon Wallace all down on the pit road. So this is going to change everything here. Kinder's going to have to get himself a good restart. Well, while we got a moment, we want to thank everybody for joining us here tonight, whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Twitch. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. Hit that little notification bell so you know when Intensity Broadcasting goes live. Don't forget to check out our web store at intensitybroadcasting.com for hats, t-shirts, coffee mugs, as well as all merchandise dealing with Atlee, Atman, Weiss as well. Also, we want to thank our sponsor, Butt Kicker, here tonight. And Butt Kicker is an established and trusted leader in haptics. The Butt Kicker brand products are used and endorsed around the world by leading PC and console gamers, including professional sim racers worldwide. The patented design makes them incredibly accurate, powerful, and virtually indestructible. The Gamer Plus is new and upgraded sim racing gaming haptic hardware that reproduces immersive, accurate, and powerful sim racing, flight sim, and gaming effects. To check out the full line of Butt Kicker products and figure out which one is right for you, visit thebuttkicker.com. As I was saying earlier in the race, before the race started, I just got the Gamer Plus myself. Have it hooked up to my chair, and if you're looking for that little extra kind of seat of the pants feel without having a motion rig, it definitely offers that. You get a little bit of feel in there, not just of the rumble of the engine or going over rumple strips, but changing gears, you get a little feedback on that as well. But what I liked was anytime you break traction, either get wheel spin or lock up the wheels, you feel it in the seat of your pants. So if you're looking for that little extra, check out thebuttkicker.com. Well, the lights on the pace truck are off. Garrett Kidner's going to choose the inside lane. Eddie Smith on the outside lane. Mike Kosick, Jason Warren back in row number 2. Daniel Cunningham and Jason Lottridge in row number 3. This is about to get wild here. We do have 3 attempts at a green-white checker here. So let's see what happens as the pace truck makes his way on the pit road. Garrett Kidner hits the gas. We're back green flag racing. Again, next time by, if the white flag comes out, the race will resume to the checker. And if the yellow flag comes out again, then we will do this all again as we got 3 wide racing. Wild racing in the back of the pack, but Garrett Kidner continues to lead Eddie Smith as we see some 3 wide here off of turn number 4. White flag is in the air. We got drivers spinning, going around. Caution will not come out as the white flag was in the air. Garrett Kidner out in front. They're still wrecking behind. Brandon Wallace is around. William Griffith is around as Garrett Kidner comes off of turn number 4. And Garrett Kidner is going to get the win here at North Wilkesboro. Eddie Smith comes home second. Mike Kosick back in third as Garrett Kidner tries to avoid the wrecked race cars coming off of turn number 2. But in a wild finish here tonight, Garrett Kidner is going to get the win. He's going to come and burn it down here on the front stretch. Before the rest of the field comes through for the Rebels Demolition Derby. Let's take a look at the wildness that ensued at the back of the field. We saw this 3 wide racing here coming off at turn number 4. We saw Cofield get turned around right in front of Brandon Wallace. And then something happened here. Oh, William Griffith. I'm not really sure what happened to Griff there, but he has some issues getting down into the corner. Looks like he might have had some help from Brandon Pollock. Yeah, he did. So, and then a little further through the field, it looked like we saw one more car go around off of turn number 4, and yeah, what a wild finish here. But Garrett Kidner getting the win here at North Wilkesboro. Let's take a look at the results. Again, Garrett Kidner with the win. Eddie Smith comes home second. Mike Kosick, Jason Warren, and Jason Lottridge with the top 5. Daniel Cunningham comes home 6th. Tyler Rice, Andy Kurtz, Brandon Pollock, and Jonah Colbert round out your top 10. Brandon Wallace comes home 11th. William Griffith, after spinning, comes home in 12th. Steve McDonald, Sam Wetstein, Charles Stevens Jr., your top 15. 16th, Josh Oswald, Dave Jones, and Jonathan Cofield round out the field here at North Wilkesboro. We're getting ready for our post-race interviews with our top 3. Starting with the 3rd place finisher, Mike Kosick. Mike, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you, Josh.
Man, what a great run for you here tonight. Wild finish there with that green-white checker. I know the green-white checker always offers a wild finish. You think you might have had anything for Eddie or Garrett there if we would have got another green-white checker there?
Nah, I don't think so. I think I burned my right rear up too much trying to run them back down, and it was just seemed so tough to pass here. So I think I was kind of stuck there in 3rd.
Yeah, we noticed it was kind of tough to pass here. We saw some drivers able to use that high line to get around here. What was the strategy here tonight? Were you just trying to save your tires knowing that they were going to burn off, or were you kind of expecting there to be a couple more yellows there towards the end?
Well, on that last run, I thought I was going to go green there till the end. I was saving my tires a little bit, probably for the first 20 laps, and then I'd kind of just use them up.
Well, either way, great run here. Another podium for you here tonight, Mike. Before we let you go, anyone you want to thank? Any shout outs you got to give here tonight?
Yeah, thank you guys for doing the broadcast. All the admins, Jonah and Daniel, for putting on the series, and my teammates at Bandits Motorsports.
And how much does this translate to Sunday night? Because I know the trucks are at North Wilkesboro as well.
I don't think at all. I think everything's going to handle kind of different here, so it's just going to be a completely different race.
Well, we look forward to seeing what you can do on Sunday night with a couple laps under your belt, and good luck this weekend.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
That was your 3rd place finisher, Mike Kosick. Let's bring in your 2nd place finisher, Eddie Smith. Eddie, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Hey, Josh.
What a great run here for you. Runner-up, gaining 10 positions from the drop of the green flag. Had not the best qualifying attempt, but able to work her way through the field there. And then it looked like things were going to go green. You were settling in there for a runner-up finish, and caution came out to bring out that green-white checker. Were you kind of excited to see that green-white checker give you an opportunity to try to get a win here tonight?
No, I didn't have anything for Kidner. I pretty much given every bit that I had to try to run him down there, right before that caution came out. So with about 5 laps to go, I just had to back off and defend second. Just really difficult to pass anyway. So I don't know. It just was a car track combo, super weird. There's just one way you could drive. You couldn't drive too slow, couldn't drive too fast. And so I knew that if he got a good start, he didn't miss a shift or slide the tires, there wasn't anything I could do with him. So I just wanted to hold on to 2nd place.
Yeah, it seemed like the tires really fell off here. The car started to slip slide around, and it wasn't side to side slip, and it looks like people were missing their braking zones a little bit. Talk about the tires. Did the tires just really get real slick as the run went on? I know Kosick said he burnt his right rear off pretty quickly there on that last run. What were you seeing out there?
Yeah, it was the front end would go away. It was more the right front that was burning off, and so you could the way the gearing was, you could really stomp the throttle to get the car to rotate off the corner. So a lot of that slipping and sliding is just trying to, for me anyway, trying to make up for how tight it was middle off. It was a fine line, like I said, to be fast and to try to get off the corner with some speed. You really had to kind of gun it. If you didn't, it'd be too tight or you'd be too slow. It was a fine line. So I didn't really feel like the tires were that bad. Every time we pitted, we were above 90%. I think it was just after 20, 30 laps, you started to get real tight in the middle, and you really had to use the throttle to keep that speed up off the corner. Just get too tight in the middle.
For sure. And with this being the track for the weekend, also getting a little bit of seat time helps out for the Truck Series race as well. So good luck this weekend in the Truck Series racing. And before we let you go, and anyone thank a shout you got to give here tonight?
I want to thank JC Motorsports. It's always good to work together with those guys. Tough night, tough track for us. We got in there in practice and felt really off, and qualifying really showed it for me. Just didn't have the qualifying speed. So, but thank them for sharing data, trying to figure out where everybody's running, and use that during the race to try to get up there. So definitely thank them. Thank you for broadcasting. And it was a lot of fun. Good win for Kidner.
For sure. And we look forward to seeing how the racing plays out this weekend as the Truck Series takes on North Wilksboro this weekend as well. So good luck there.
Thanks, sir.
So that was your second place finisher, Eddie Smith. Let's bring in your winner here tonight. The man, the myth, the legend, the one and only Garrett Kidner. Garrett, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you, Josh. What's up?
Man, dominating performance here, putting on the clinic here at North Wilkesboro, getting the win, and on a tough track, not just to get around, but to pass here tonight. And what did you see out there tonight? I know you were out front for the most part, but getting around, it seemed like I hear the celebration from the dog in the background too.
Yeah,
but,
she's going crazy back here.
Seems like passing was just incredibly difficult here tonight.
Yeah, passing was the car just built tighter, and it started out tight, but just built tighter and tighter as the run went. Tried to really put emphasis on saving that right front. Anytime you scooched it just a little bit and slid it, it absolutely killed it for like a lap or two. So a lot of focus on saving that right front. I was actually having more problems getting loose off exit than anything. A lot of fun. Yeah, passing was extremely difficult. You could maybe get it done on fresh tires. If somebody was starting like on restarts and stuff. Whenever Eddie started right next to me on fresh tires, it was a fight there for probably about 10 laps, and then just that bottom line became dominant again and just kind of drove away. But man, just a fun race. Everybody just raced real clean, respectful. Had a few incidents on track. A couple cautions, a couple that spun and should have been cautions but wasn't. But man, it was just a fun race. It's a fun track. Glad to finally get a W this season. I can tell you that much.
For sure. And it seemed kind of weird because you'd pull away. You'd have about a second and a half lead. Then we'd see people catching right back up to you. Then you'd pull away again. Is that just a product of trying to slow down, regain your track or your temperatures in your tires to get back in a rhythm?
Either that or it was I messed up and they caught back up. It was one or the other. But yeah, there was a little bit of gap management going on. Whenever I got out, I think I was right around the second. That's a pretty comfortable lead at a short track. So I tried to maintain that. And then, of course, I would take it too easy or I'd make a mistake going into one of the turns. That was the bane of my existence, was the entry of turn one. I never could figure out what line I wanted to take or exactly when I wanted to cut down to the bottom. But made it work tonight, so I'm pretty happy about it.
Lastly, with just before taking the white flag was in sight and the caution came out. Did that kind of make your heart drop a little bit right there?
It made my heart drop, made my blood pressure go way up. I was seeing red, and I was pretty upset. I won't repeat what I said because I don't know if it's kid friendly or not. But it was sure a heartbreaker.
Dump button. Hold on. No.
That's probably a good idea. Man, yeah, it was a heartbreaker. I knew Eddie and myself and Michael had all kind of evened out on tires. It was really having the lead right there and be able to time the restart and get a good restart that was the only thing that saved me. Those guys, they were just as fast as I was. Just track position played out really well.
And you had quite a bit of support here tonight. Let's see. You had Ratchet and your father in the chat here, as well as Tommy Stuff One rooting you on as well. So gaining some fans out there. And before I let you go, and anyone thank a shout you got to give here tonight.
Yeah, I got to thank Kidner Farm and Ranch, of course. A little different paint scheme. Ran this one back when we did the Late Night Cup Series, but at North Wilkesboro, you got to run an old paint scheme. So it's a Rick Mass paint scheme. Still got Kidner Farm Ranch across the hood. Still got Ratchet Speed Shop across the deck lid. So absolutely love having them on board. Love the text messages, the pictures, everything I get after the race. Ratchet was texting me right before that last restart saying, hey, just head down. You got this. Get her done. So A lot of encouragement coming from all the support back home. Big Frig and Cross 5 cattle coolers. If you want to keep your stuff hot, keep your stuff cold for cheaper and longer than anybody else, make sure you check out Big Frig and Cross 5 cattle coolers at bigfrig.com. Ray Page and Andy over at Wolfpack Racing, great guys. I know they've been running around like chickens with their heads cut off here recently, so I ain't got to talk to Ray a whole bunch. But man, they're just some good dudes. All my teammates over at Reaper Racing, the JC Motorsports guys, the Velocity Motorsports guys, the short track team, and Shock iRacing Performance, just absolute blast running with these guys over here. Grand National Series, Jonah and Daniel, they put this together, and it's an absolute hoot. I love these cars. Glad we're running them again, and hopefully we can keep this momentum rolling a little bit.
For sure, yeah, and I loved seeing that Skull Bandit out there on the track here tonight. So recognize that paint job immediately. Great win tonight, and good luck this week. That's right. Are you going to be running this weekend in the track series? I know you have might have been on. Up there you are. You got me.
I'm still here, big dog.
Yeah,
waiting on you.
I couldn't hear you. I was asking, talking to you about the weekend. It sounds like I don't believe you're going to be working anymore. Racing more on Sundays, correct? Yeah, I must be having some kind of issues on my end here, so. Well, that's going to wrap it up here tonight on Intensity Broadcast. Again, we appreciate everybody for joining us here tonight. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. Check out intensitybroadcasting.com as well as thebuttkicker.com. And as always, congratulations again to Garrett Kidner. And as our boy Atlee Atman Weiss would say, over